All right, everyone, get ready, because we are about to dive deep into the life of a scientific giant, Sir Isaac Newton, in this deep dive.
Oh, yeah.
We are going way past the apple falling on his head story,
Definitely.
which we will get to, of course.
We'll get there.
But we're going to uncover a life that is way more complex and honestly way more interesting than your high school physics textbook ever let on.
Oh, absolutely. You're right. To call it a complex life, this is a guy who changed the game for math, physics, optics. He even got into alchemy a bit. Newton wasn't just a genius. He was like a force of nature himself.
That is exactly what I want to unpack today. So we have some excerpts from his Wikipedia page,
Right.
which, let me tell you, is a rabbit hole on its own.
It really is.
What we are going to do for you today is connect the dots. How did his childhood, his work, his, should we say, eccentric side all come together to make him such a pivotal figure?
And pivotal, we're talking about someone who fundamentally changed how we look at the universe and our place in it.
Exactly. So no pressure, Isaac. Let's rewind to 1642, rural England.
Okay.
Newton's start to life was, well, how should we put this, touch and go.
To say the least. Born prematurely, small enough to, legend has it, fit into a quart mug. His dad died just a few months later, and he had a pretty difficult childhood with his stepfather.
Okay, so not exactly the idyllic countryside upbringing you might picture.
No.
But this is where we see those early signs of genius.
Yes.
Building sundials as a kid, creating little working models of things.
It's impressive.
That's next level stuff.
It really is. Speaks to his natural curiosity, this desire to understand how things work, and that's from a very young age. And don't forget about the story of him getting back at a bully by becoming the top student. Ambition, maybe a little competitiveness. We're always there.
Right. I like that. Hold on to that.
Yeah.
Because those themes come up again and again.
Yes, they do.
Now, we have young Isaac heading to Cambridge in 1661, gets a fellowship at Trinity College. Things are looking good.
They are.
And then, bam, the plague hits in 1665.
And not just any plague,
Right.
the bubonic plague.
Yeah.
Cambridge shuts down, everybody's getting out of the city, including Newton, who goes back to his family's place in Woolsthorpe. You'd think this would be a setback, right?
Right.
Time to lay low.
Yeah.
Not for Newton.
Not at all.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
This was, well, the opposite.
Talk about making the most of a bad situation.
Talk about it.
This time period, a lot of people call it Newton's Year of Wonders.
They do.
And it's because this is when he lays down the foundation for calculus, explores the nature of light, and, yeah, probably has that famous apple falling from the tree moment.
Probably.
The one that makes him think about gravity.
It's true that the Apple story is probably exaggerated, but it gets at, I think, the heart of his genius.
Okay.
His ability to see connections between things that seem totally unrelated and then come up with these universal principles from those connections.
Yeah.
He didn't just see an apple fall and go, oh, okay. He asked why.
Right.
And then he goes on to develop this mathematical framework to explain it.
Yeah.
That's what's amazing.
Yeah, and that's what's blowing my mind right now. The rest of the world is just trying to, survive a pandemic.
Right.
He is single-handedly revolutionizing how we think about science.
Incredible.
But, and here's what gets me, he doesn't run out to publish these big discoveries.
Right.
Why the wait?
So Newton, he was a deep guy, really didn't like criticism, and was very, very protective of his work.
Yeah.
Some people who study him think he was also maybe a little afraid to challenge what everyone thought, at least right away.
So a little strategic thinking mixed with that genius.
A little.
He knew he was onto something big.
Oh, yeah.
But also knew that timing was everything.
Exactly. And we see that throughout his life. Newton knew how to come up with new ideas and make them work, but also how to deal with the world around him. You know, that strategic side of him we were talking about?
Yep.
That really shows up when he becomes the Lucasian professor of mathematics at Cambridge.
Right.
I mean, that's a pretty big deal.
It's a huge deal. That position, people who have held that position, brilliant.
The best of the best.
But for Newton, it wasn't a guarantee.
Right.
People were unsure about his beliefs.
Yeah.
Or, I guess, more like what he didn't believe.
Exactly. Remember how we were saying how Newton did his own thing, thought for himself?
Yes.
He didn't agree with the Holy Trinity.
Wow.
Big part of Christianity. And this is a 17th century England.
Right.
Very risky move, especially for someone with such a high position.
Yeah. It's like he was walking this line between what he was discovering and what people expected of him at the time.
Yeah.
Talk about challenging the status quo.
Okay.
It makes you wonder if maybe that rebellious side of him is part of what led to those big scientific breakthroughs.
It could be. And his out-of-the-box thinking didn't stop with religion.
Oh, here we go.
This is where his alchemy work comes in. Might seem kind of strange,
Yeah.
considering how we see Newton, the rational scientist.
Right. Like, wait, the guy who basically figured out gravity was messing around with potions? Trying to turn lead into gold? It's like something out of, I don't know.
It's wild, right?
But seriously, what was he doing with all of that?
It's easy for us to write alchemy off as just superstition now, but for Newton, it was another way for him to try and understand the universe.
What?
Remember, this is a guy obsessed with figuring out how the natural world works.
Right.
Alchemy, changing things the way matter acts. To him, it was another part of that puzzle.
So it wasn't just about magic or making gold appear out of thin air.
Not really. I mean, that idea of changing matter was part of it.
Right.
But what Newton was really doing was trying to understand the stuff that makes up, well, everything. How it all works together, how it can be changed. We have to keep in mind that back then, the line between what's science and what's, not quite science was blurry.
That's true, yeah.
And to be honest, the idea that we can change things at a molecular level, that's still pretty mind-blowing.
Oh, for sure.
It tells you a lot about how curious Newton was.
Yeah.
He didn't just take what everyone said as the truth. He wanted to test it out, see how far he could go, even if it meant exploring things that were new and maybe a little controversial.
Okay, so we've got Newton the rebel, Newton the alchemist, but we can't forget Newton, the author of what is considered by a lot of people to be the most important scientific book ever. Philosophiae Naturalis, Principia Mathematica, or as most people call it, Principia. Published in 1687. Huge. It pretty much lays down the law, literally, for how we understand how things move and gravity.
It does. It's like he cracked the code of the universe.
Right, and then there's the whole gravity thing that everything in the universe pulls on everything else.
The way it's all connected.
My mind is officially blown.
The really amazing part is that Newton didn't just say, here are these ideas.
Right.
He came up with the math calculus to explain it all.
Wow.
It was a huge deal, but it also caused some problems.
Right, the whole thing with Gottfried Leibniz, didn't they both invent calculus around the same time?
They did, yeah, but they had different ways of doing it, different ways of writing it down.
Okay.
And that led to a big disagreement about who should get credit. Lasted for years.
Oh, wow.
Shows you that even geniuses, they can be competitive, right? They want the credit.
They're still human.
They're human.
It is fascinating. It really is. This drive to make sense of the universe, even if it meant going head-to-head with other brilliant minds, it makes you think, like, what is genius?
It's a good question.
The ambition and sometimes ego that comes with it?
For sure. And with Newton, that ego, or maybe that absolute confidence in his ideas, it's what caused that problem with Leibniz, but also with John Flamsteed, the first astronomer royal. Newton really wanted those observations Flamsteed made. Oh, right.
For his own work and, well, another big fight.
So there's definitely a pattern here.
Yeah.
Like this intensity, this need to learn and discover, it had another side,
Great.
But maybe that's what it takes to achieve something like that.
You could be right. It just shows that even the greatest minds, they're human.
Totally.
They've got all the good and the bad.
Right, exactly.
But let's not forget, Newton's impact wasn't just about those arguments or even just about his discoveries.
Right.
His work helped start the Enlightenment.
Oh, yeah. Huge.
When intellectual and philosophical thought just exploded.
It's like his ideas about the universe, about thinking things through and looking closely, they went way beyond science and affected everything.
Exactly. Thinkers, artists, Voltaire, Alexander Pope, they were all inspired by him.
I did not realize how influential he was. He was a big deal. In fact, it's a famous quote. Pope wrote, "Nature and nature's laws lay hid in night. God said, 'Let Newton be,' and all was light," though it wasn't actually put on his tomb.
Still a cool quote.
It is.
But it just shows you how much people respected what he did.
They really did.
And it wasn't just, deep thinking and philosophy. Didn't he have another job, too? Something to do with, what was it, money?
Oh, that's right. He was warden and then master of the royal mint.
Hold on. Explain that.
So basically, he was in charge of the money, and he didn't mess around.
Really?
He even went undercover to catch people making fake money.
Wait, stop. The guy who wrote Principia was out there chasing criminals.
He was.
That's amazing.
He was really talented, used that same brain, that same attention to detail to change how money worked and make the English economy stronger.
Let's talk about a well-rounded guy.
Seriously?
It's really incredible how he was so good at such different things, from figuring out physics to, fighting economic crime, Newton
인정.
was anything but boring.
Not at all.
But we've been kind of dancing around this one thing, and I think we have to go back to it. His alchemy work.
It is interesting, and a lot of people misunderstand it.
Yeah.
For years, scholars thought his writings about it were an embarrassment.
Like it tarnished his reputation.
Exactly. But more recently, people are realizing that these writings tell us a lot about how he thought, how he saw the world.
So it wasn't just a weird hobby.
Not at all. It was all connected to his other work. He saw how messing with matter, the nature of light, even big questions about, creation were all related.
It's like he was searching for this one big theory that explains everything, way before that was even a thing in physics.
Exactly. He thought the universe had secrets, and he wanted to find them, whether through watching and testing, or even studying old alchemy books.
Makes you wonder what he'd think of science today, with all our
Yeah.
fancy technology and theories.
It really does. Isaac Newton, the man who changed how we see the cosmos,
Right.
he reminds us that learning and discovery never really end,
So true.
that there's always something new to find if we're willing to dig a little deeper.
I love that. All right, everyone, next time you see an apple fall, or look up at the stars, or even use a calculator, think of Isaac Newton.
He did so much.
He wasn't just a genius, he was someone who wouldn't stop searching for the truth. And he reminds us that the universe is full of mysteries.
And that's exciting.
It is. And on that note, this has been a fascinating deep dive into the life and work of Sir Isaac Newton.
It really has.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.